What does it say that you're not actually at South by Southwest?
You know, it's a travel schedule thing. I would be there. I've been there for the past few years. You know, the question, is it relevant? Is it something?
But it can't be a must. If when you're looking at your travel schedule, you didn't say, I've got to be there.
Right.
What does that say about the...
I'm not sure any conference is a must these days. I think it really, I mean, honestly, think about how information is spread, is shared. Everything's moving fast. There's not many companies or people waiting for a conference to announce something. I mean, in 2007, you saw Twitter, 2009, Foursquare, but social has grown so much since then. I'm not so sure that people are waiting anymore.
Then why does it feel like the conference business is only getting bigger?
People want to connect. People want to network. I mean, obviously, entrepreneurship is growing. People are really excited about starting their own companies. Tech has allowed people to start companies in ways they never have before. And so when you start a company, it's not just about launching.
Isn't it important, though, for a conference to be remembered for something?
Absolutely.
So Foursquare didn't launch Twitter like it did Foursquare, but it was the first place in 2007 that people really got a feel for what Twitter was. Zuckerberg did sort of a keynote thing, I think, the following year. And I guess South by Southwest is remembered as well for launching John Mayer's career, right? As
absolutely.
a musician. But since 2009, since Foursquare came along, what can you remember South by Southwest for?
That's a great point. You know, what's interesting is if you look before 2007, you say, like, well, when was the last time before 2007 that anything really happened at South by?
Well, back then it was mainly a film and music conference.
It's actually been around since '97, right? So, like, '99, people were talking about blogs. Are blogs relevant? Well, blog. And then you had Cuban come in, and Cuban, when he had broadcast.com, speaking of Cuban, talk about video. You know, for a while we were arguing, should video even have a place on the web? That's completely changed. And then there was sort of a break, and not much was really coming out, and then we saw Twitter and we saw Foursquare. So I think that you really have to just sort of look at the market, see what's happening in the landscape. Is it dead? I'm not sure. Has anything happened recently? Not really.
So who is South by Southwest valuable for? Mark Cuban is there. He's speaking. But when he's done speaking, is he listening to other speakers? Well, maybe other bands, because who wouldn't want to see Coldplay? Is it valuable for those who came because they need a job, they need funding, they've got a resume on their smartphone waiting to send out? Yeah, absolutely. If you prepare. You can't just go to South by and expect for something to happen. You have to be ready to go. You have to have done some work in advance, know who to talk to. You have 30,000 people who are all passionate about one thing in one place. That's powerful. If you know how to utilize that, that's a smart thing.
Hang on a second. What are they passionate about?
Tech and media. I mean, of course, that's a broad spectrum, right? But I mean, you do have 30,000 people most of whom have flown all the way down there.
But didn't they just go to CES? Don't they have work to do?
They go to conferences all the time.
That's my point.
No, I understand. Listen, I think that in order to stand out, in order to make a difference and to really learn something there, you're going to have to know what you're doing, and you're going to have to figure out creative ways to be a little different. It really comes down to the conference goer. It comes down to the conference goer. Does it matter who's there? You say 30,000 people who are passionate about tech and media, but if you don't have hitters like Zuckerberg, now granted in 2008 he wasn't the hitter that he is now. No. But if you don't have people who appear to be on the cutting edge of something, does that sort of undermine, does that take something away from its meaningfulness? You know, I think that there are people who are on the cutting edge. I'm not so sure if it's as newsworthy as it was in 2007 and 2009, because so much is... Look, think of all the startups, think of all the mobile, think of everything that's come out. It's probably not making headlines, but there's definitely innovators there. They're definitely makers. You just have to know how to find them, where to look, and how to communicate. Do you need to go to a festival to do those things? No, absolutely not. It's a good bonus, right, to go and to make, you know, face-to-face connections. You don't need conferences. You can do that these days in a variety of ways. What are your favorite techniques? FaceTime for making connections and networking? Yeah. So I generally mix it with online and offline, right? You can go online and you can have conversations and follow people and I want to go meet that guy. What are your favorite platforms? Twitter. You know, Twitter's a great one. I use Facebook a lot, but you also have to have the offline part, which is where conferences, which is where events really pay off. I like to go to smaller events where there are less people so that I don't have to compete with so many folks. Okay, so has South by Southwest gotten too big? You know, for some people, yes. For someone like me, I don't love a big conference. There are other people that thrive in that environment. There are other people that really love being around a lot of hungry people, and you have to decide sort of which conference works for you and which doesn't. I'm not sure it's over. I'm not sure that it's going to have its best days ahead of himself. All right, Herb Allen, are you watching? Michael needs an invite. That's what he just said. Small conference, super valuable. I think I know the one you want. All right, if you can hook me up, I will appreciate it. Yes. Yeah. Do people get any work done there? Define work. Exactly, exactly. Going out to see a band is not working. Okay, listen, if you just go to the bands, if you just drink your face off, you're going to have a problem. You're not going to meet the people you need. You're not going to have a great time. You have to walk the line. You have to have fun, but you also, are you about to sing Johnny Cash? I saw that. I thought you were going to sing Walk the Line. So do I.
Oh, I love Johnny Cash. It was just his birthday.
Johnny Cash will not be playing at South by
Southwest. Coldplay will.
Unfortunately, Coldplay will. You need to know how to do it. You need to know how to have fun. You also need to know how to get in there.
Why? Hold on a second. If this is a conference for innovators, for business people, why the hell do you need to know how to have fun? When I used to go to the high yield conference, when I worked at Deutsche Bank, I was there to do work. At no point did I say, well, I made it here to Phoenix, time to have fun. That's what I do Friday at 6 o'clock until Monday at 6 a.m.
Okay, listen, though, here's the thing, is that the conference you went to, chances are the culture of that conference, I'm not going to say it was boring, but it was probably not
people are there to do work.
But this is different kind of work with different people, different kinds of creators, different kinds of founders. It's not the financial crowd. It's the young people who wear skinny ties. And I'm only saying that because we talked about.
You just called.
No, I didn't. I didn't insult you.
And old
No. You have to know your audience. When you go to a conference, and any time when you're running a business, you have to know the audience.
Okay, fine. Then let me just make one final point.
Okay.
This doesn't make you feel in any way that this industry is a bit bubbly. Is a bit 1999 internet-y when you're saying, well, people need to feel it. They need to have fun. They need to work.
I totally agree with you. I didn't say it wasn't bubbly. I think it is bubbly.
He's going to Panama.
Listen, I'm going to Panama. I think that there's a lot of people starting companies now. Whether those companies are profitable or actually going to be relevant, most of them won't. I think we are experiencing somewhat of a bubble, but that's a whole other show and a whole other conversation.